welcome to ET Markets Crypto Q&A. I'm Aloni Bhatt. Today we have with us Sahil Tiwari, Director Engineering at CoinSwitch Kuber, answering all your questions. If you have any questions, do write into us at ET Markets Crypto Corner.
Hi, I'm Sahil Tiwari. I take care of a large part of the engineering here at CoinSwitch. I'm Director of Engineering, and through the course of my past 1 year, being here since Jan, I've worn multiple hats, and now mainly I focus on the consumer engineering side. With the first question, for a long time, 5+ projects like DeFi and GameFi have been the hottest crypto topic. Against such a background, how should institutional investors and individual investors evaluate the potential of 5+ projects? Let me start by kind of adding a little bit of prefix to this answer by saying that this is not investment advice. I want people to do their own research, and maybe some of the answers that I give out could help doing that research. So yes, DeFi and GameFi projects are trending, and they've created a lot of value for investors in the past few months. Growth has been mainly because of the strong utility of these projects, and I don't see it as hype-driven. Eventually, to evaluate any potential of a 5+ project, right, you need to understand the core of the problem that they're trying to address. If that problem actually demands for a solution. Once you have that confirmed, you need to evaluate the underlying technology aspect of that project. You need to ask some fundamental questions like, how are they solving the problem? Is the project well distributed across its nodes? Is there consensus mechanism amongst the people who are adopting that solution? The final and probably most important aspect while evaluating any project is that you need to understand three or four key factors. One of them being total value that is locked in the protocol. What is the token price? What is the distribution? I would also suggest looking at something referred to as NVT, essentially network value to transaction ratio of that token, and evaluate the utility of DeFi or GameFi based on that. How are DeFi and blockchain related? What are the components of DeFi? So blockchain essentially is the backbone of DeFi. Let's put in very simple terms. DeFi cannot be built without blockchain. Blockchain is the underlying of any DeFi application that comes up. You have dApps that are created with financial functions on the blockchains. They do from recording of transactions, storage of value, multiple other aspects depending on the kind of application that you're looking at. So dApps overall govern the protocol side of the tokens and their underlying functionality. Coming to the components of DeFi itself, over the last couple of years, right, DeFi has expanded really, really well. Initially, it used to be confined towards stable coins. It used to be geared towards lending and borrowing applications. Now you would start seeing that ecosystem evolve. You would have started to get to know about decentralized exchanges called as DEX. You would start seeing crypto synthetic assets getting developed. You would probably start seeing derivatives, margin trading, decentralized asset management tools, etc., etc. So the minute you enable the power of blockchain and dApps, you can do a lot on top of it. Can DeFi complement traditional financial activities? Absolutely. DeFi essentially carries potential to complement a lot of the traditional financial activities that we do. It ensures greater participation due to its reduced barrier in entry. It allows you to have extremely transparent mechanisms in place. Take the example of crypto synthetic assets, right? That's a very interesting way to look at it. When you refer to crypto synthetic assets, it's basically a tokenized form of traditional and digital asset classes, right? They get their value from the underlying asset or the index. Crypto synthetics you can basically trade them very freely on crypto exchanges. You can access global liquidity immediately. It allows you to get a lot of access to efficient price discovery. It allows you to have very easy access to traditional securities, right? This is one of the many examples that DeFi complements in comparison to the traditional financial ecosystem. You can think about it as an upgrade in the tech stack, right, for some traditional financial activities to continue. Do challenges in DeFi resemble traditional finance? Well, no. There are various different challenges that DeFi has, which don't really relate to our traditional financial systems. You can think about one of the biggest challenges to actually get people to adopt DeFi is to get the understanding of DeFi, and along with that, you have a lot of lack of government regulation. There's a lot of volatility in price. All of these factors really hurt DeFi adoption at large scale. But there are some benefits which are also unique to DeFi. For example, there's a very low barrier to entry. You essentially look at DeFi getting established in the long term, and I don't see much of a challenge in that. What's the uniqueness of DeFi and what does it offer? All right. So one major aspect about DeFi is that it cannot be corrupted. It's completely immutable. So you would have observed, or you would have even come across multiple situations where in traditional or centralized financial systems, there are loopholes and gaps which allow people to game the system. You can have a domino effect of these scenarios coming up, which kind of really impact your organization's health, economy. We've seen multiple examples over the past few years of these things coming up. With DeFi, the chances of actually corrupting that system is very minimal, and in some cases even eliminated. You have a certain set rules that any DeFi platform establishes. Think about it as a simple checklist, right? Nobody can change those rules. Nobody can go aside from those rules and do something else, right? That's what the entire token would be built on. Every participant in that network and everybody who's actually contributing to that token has skin in the game, meaning that they would basically need to stake their assets. Staking your asset is essentially reading crypto tokens in that particular protocol. That makes you a verified node in order to process the transaction. Once you're a verified node, you process transactions and you make sure that a large part of these nodes are there in your ecosystem so that there is distribution maintained. Any fraud activity that happens by the participant can lead to seizure or assets, essentially seizure of those assets getting staked. DeFi is, in my view, setting the stage for creation of a modern financial ecosystem. We went from paper to digital. Now we probably move into this direction. You can very easily access the financial system. You can get as much transparency as you want from that system because everything is available openly. It's very, very cost effective. And most importantly, the underlying technology is very, very efficient if built in the right way. Do DeFi systems remove intermediaries, and what is peer-to-peer in crypto balance? All right, so peer-to-peer is very simple. It basically means that you're sending money or information directly to a recipient without having an intermediary. So nobody needs to get involved. Sahil can interact directly with his recipient. Coming to the question now, how DeFi removes intermediaries? Well, all DeFi platforms essentially use smart contracts, right? That get stored on a blockchain. Now, smart contracts are nothing but self-executing programmable contracts which are stored on the blockchain, and they get executed only after that earlier checklist that I mentioned, or those predetermined conditions are fulfilled. Nobody can manipulate those terms of the contract. So once it's verified, once it's established, that's it. You can't change it anymore. It also makes the transaction more secure. Since you have distribution in place, the transaction gets processed on blockchain, and there is nobody else involved in the middle. So, for the common man, what is a cross-chain DeFi platform? In fact, and this has gained a lot of momentum over the past few months as well, where cross-chain DeFi platforms are nothing but those platforms where you can transfer value from one blockchain network to another without too much effort. So inherently, right, blockchains are meant to be living in their own network ecosystem. There is no interoperability between blockchain platforms. Think about a UPI use case or an IMPS use case for blockchains, right? There are multiple complexities with the nature in which blockchain architecture is created. It becomes very difficult for one blockchain platform to actually process transactions outside their network. And this requires some mechanism to be bridged in the middle. And you would have seen if you actually dive into the underlying upgrades that are happening on blockchain networks, you would have seen that multiple of these cross-chain capabilities are being built with individual networks so that they can have these smoother transactions, interoperability created between those networks. Are decentralized finance or DeFi companies different from those offering crypto assets? Well, yes, DeFi and crypto assets are very, very different products. Crypto assets are basically decentralized digital assets, right? They have their own blockchain. They're mostly used for P2P transactions, and they're maintained as a store of value, right? Versus DeFi platforms have built-in financial products hosted on top of public blockchains. So you're creating functionality on top of those public blockchains. Think about using Ethereum for building on a financial product. DeFi platforms eventually would aim to entirely and eliminate those intermediaries from financial transactions and make daily transactions very transparent, very cheap. You would be able to do it seamlessly with a click of a button, and things get processed immediately.
Well, that's it from us. Hope this was informative. Do write in with your thoughts, and we'll see you soon.